This is Real Women, celebrating women in independent film. My name is Brenda Daly, and I'm your host. Um, we bring you content of women who are creating films and who are acting in television series, and we really wanted to celebrate them. That is the whole purpose of this podcast. And so if you want to support us, please subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can always check out our Patreon, not tequila. Anyway, this is Brenda Daly, and today we're going to be talking to Noelle, and she is in a movie called The Connection. She's going to tell you all the hats that she wore during this movie, and it's really exciting to talk to her. And she is in Florida. Hey, how's it going, Laura?
Hey, Brenda. Yeah, it's going really well. Very, very hot summer here in Florida, but kind of.
Yeah, I'm in Vegas, and it's 100 and stupid. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah,
have
like
heat?
what? Yeah. I think it was 116 the other day, so we broke a record.
No.
Yeah, so
No.
I know it's a dry heat, right?
That's too much. You guys don't get rain, do you?
We do get rain. Usually August is our monsoony month, so we'll see how that goes. So speaking of, Laura, I want you to tell everybody what it is, everything that you did for The Connection and how it all got started.
Okay. Yeah, so in The Connection, I play the lead role of Vera, and that was the only thing I did for The Connection. So I just played the lead role of Vera.
Okay, and so how was that? I mean, it looked like it was kind of a thriller. I kind of got the Basic Instinct vibe by it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so it's very much a sci-fi action. But the way that the trailer is, I can definitely see how it's more of a thriller kind of vibe. It kind of just depends on like the music and everything, but it's definitely sci-fi action, a lot of drama, and yeah, it was just so fun to shoot. Yeah.
And so can you tell me a little bit about your character?
Yeah, so I play Vera, and she is she's this young girl who's been in abusive relationship after abusive relationship. When the lead character Foster meets Vera, they actually wake up in this field, and then they just remember they don't remember anything after that. So it starts with Vera. She escapes her abusive relationship, and she's staying in this motel. And the movie starts where Foster just basically feels her. They have no idea about anything that really did happen before. And then he just knocks on the door, and she just says, how did you find me? So it kind of starts with that, where it's almost like if you had a connection with someone in a past life and you meet them in this life, and you have no idea, you can't really pinpoint exactly what it is that you did with them, had with them, whatever, You
have like a deja vu.
Kind of, yeah.
So I know this person, but I'm just not sure. No, I get it.
It's really interesting. So it has almost like a love connection pull to that, because Foster is clearly in a relationship. And then what's unique about the characters is that the way that they are connected, they feel each other's emotions. So they could be in completely different places, which they are, different rooms, cities, and he will feel exactly what she's feeling. She'll feel exactly what he's feeling. And that's the only way that they can really bring each other down and bring each other up. So it hinges on a lot of that connection.
So let's talk about you for a minute. So how long have you been acting, and when did you get started?
Okay. Yeah. So I've been acting literally ever since I was really little. But I was always in plays growing up. Um, and then I really pursued film acting when I got to California, and that was back in 2009.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I started at this school called Gary Spatz the Playground in LA. And that's really where I took my first shot at like, okay, I can do this film acting. I've done so many plays, but I just had a feeling like I would just fall in love with film because it's so much more real and less, I guess, projected than it is in plays.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I came from I did tons of stage when I was a kid, but I feel like film acting is very subtle. Like I find that a lot of actresses that don't do great on stage do great on film because they have that little subtle,
That's
there's
me.
something very subtle. I did a movie called Abigail Hunting, and the girl that I did it with, she was never a lead in stage, but as an adult, because her acting's so subtle, she's casting like crazy. So I think it's just a different type, and as an actor, you definitely have to learn everything.
Mhm.
But stage, everybody starts on stage because it's fun, and it's fun for the kids, and yeah, for sure.
Exactly. You kind of, I mean, you learn about working with others, I think, when you start on stage
Hmm.
because everyone's like a huge community and everyone has their own, I don't know, sort of personality. And especially when you do a play, it's like weeks upon weeks rehearsing with that same family.
Uh-huh.
So you just pull a lot from just how to be a better actor and how to be a better, I guess, like communicator, giver in the scenes. So I think it definitely does set the stage for what you need to be on a set as well.
Right. So where are you originally from?
Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
Oh, okay. So you went from Colorado to LA,
Hmm.
and now you're in Florida.
Yeah, to this whole
So,
zag
so what
thing.
made you leave LA?
Well, actually, I'm very spiritual. At the time when I was in LA, uh, I mean, it's very expensive, so I was having trouble paying rent, and I was living with my boyfriend at the time, who I met in film school, and he was into editing. So long story short, little things started happening where I felt like I kept losing than gaining. Like certain close friends would be like, "Oh, I'm moving to New York," so they'd be gone. And then my job that I really loved, working at a theater, was like, well, I couldn't continue working there because it would be so far from the other apartment I would have to move to. So that was gone. And then the job that I got after that ended very shortly because the business went under. So there was just a lot of like, what's going on? Am I like, is this not the right time?
No, a lot of people a lot of people move to LA don't understand how tough it is because it is kind of like living in New
Yeah.
York. If you can't afford it, I mean, when you hear actors talk about how they've lived in their car, it's not that they're not making any money; they just can't afford to afford an apartment.
No, it's and then to make it like worse, this guy I literally thought I was going to like marry, he left. So I was stuck with all this rent. I
Right.
couldn't pay it. And here I am just like crying, calling my mom, being like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I can't pay this rent. Can you help me out? That's the only outlet I had.
Uh-huh.
And then then after she was helping me out for a little while, and then I lost that second job that I was at a restaurant, I had to be really choosy with my auditions because I was like, well, I only make this much. My mom's only helping me this much,
Right.
So I had to be really choosy with my auditions. And then a funny thing started to happen where I would start getting calls about like Florida, anything to do with Florida. Like if it was like a cruise line, or I remember I had this one audition that was literally like Orlando Street and Tampa Avenue. And I was like, this is crazy. So I started praying, because I felt like I lost so much, and I was like, God, just please tell me where should I go? And I just kept getting signs for like Florida. Seagulls would fly over my apartment, and there's no way I'm in Woodland Hills. Like, that usually doesn't happen. So, you know, it's just certain things kept pointing towards Florida, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. And as soon as I committed to going to Florida, I landed all these high paying background jobs, which I had been not landing. It was crazy. So things started going up. The move was easy. Getting movers was easy. Selling stuff was easy. So literally, I think the universe was like, get out.
So
Get
do you
out.
feel
This is
like,
not
do
your
you,
time.
right, do you feel like that's kind of like where your career started to accelerate a little bit?
Actually, yes. When I moved to Florida, which everyone in my acting circle, my directing circle, my manager at the time said, your career's over if you do that. And I was like, am I going to trust them? Or am I going to trust this higher power that's never, ever, ever steered me wrong? Even though this sounds completely crazy, I'm moving across the country to a place I don't know.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you know, by myself.
Well,
And have
and I know, just so everyone, because Laura and I were talking about, my daughter just did that like 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
So, but I do think too, because of COVID and a lot of online auditions, you can pretty much live anywhere. You just have to be able to get where you need to go in
Mhm.
order to get to do the work,
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
I mean, I'd like to definitely kind of piggyback off of that, because I think you should never base your career or your film on, I have to be in this certain place. If there's anything that I've learned from my situation, if you have talent, the right people will find you, and you will also find the right people. You know, it just might not be exactly where you thought it was going to be, but if you have
Right.
that talent, you have it for a reason. You're gonna attract those right kinds of people into your life. And that's exactly what happened for me.
And so, how many feature films have you done?
Oh gosh, a lot. Since being out here, just off the top of my head, I think like probably 11, maybe,
Wow. And
maybe
then
even more.
how long have you been there?
So I've been in Florida since 2014.
Oh, okay. So
Yep.
okay. So you've been really, really well.
Yeah, and I even, it was funny, once I moved to Florida, I started booking things that shot in California. I
Right.
was like, oh wow, it took me literally leaving that state to bring me back
I
to that.
think that, I think that a lot of that's going on though. And I think too that
Mhm.
usually in California, uh, a lot of stuff is not being filmed in California. They're casting, all the 8 casting agencies are there, but it's
Mhm.
not necessarily, and they're not necessarily just picking people from California unless it's commercials. Commercials, you kind of have to be available
Yeah.
right then and there. But I think with film and everything, I think as long as you have a good reputation and people know that, you're reliable and, and they can afford you, then I think, they're willing to fly you where they need you to be,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And I mean, there's also been other times too where actually I auditioned, I remember, for this voiceover, and it was for Nike.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm just gonna do it. So I literally just set it up in my closet after I got off my hotel day job, and it was in Florida. And I was like, I'm just gonna do it 3 different ways, send it. I don't know what's gonna come from it. And they said, absolutely, we love you. It was really good pay. And I lied and said I was in California so I could get the job.
Oh, yeah. I have to.
I paid my way. I was like, this one I'm gonna pay my way. And then it was funny because when I got out there, I'm writing my address. They're like, I thought you said you you lived here. I was like, I said that so I could get the job. And they just laughed about it. They're like, oh wow, like
Right. I think too that's a big thing, because everybody's you have to be an Atlanta local or you have to be
Mhm.
a LA local, and I think that, basically they're just saying you have to pay your own way there.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
what it
much.
means. That's pretty much what it means, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So a lot of people do that. I know somebody, and I can't really talk about the movie because it's a really big movie, but uh, they were listed as an Australian local, and their agents in Australia, but they were in California. They did the online self tape, and they got it. And the movie's getting ready to come out any day, and it's probably going to be the biggest movie of the year. But they they've been stuck in Australia for 2 years because of COVID and all that because they got it right before. But
Oh,
hey, this movie's probably going to break out his career, so
yeah.
it's a pretty big deal. So but he had to get an apartment, and it was a whole thing. It was definitely a whole thing.
I mean, the saying goes, if you really want it, you'll do everything you can, to
Right, exactly. I think that's true. I think
yeah.
it's absolutely true. So what was your most uh I was going to say I know you, of course the Connection's probably your favorite right now, but but what was like the most interesting way you got cast?
Ooh, good question. The most interesting way I've gotten cast. Um, I have to really think through all of my certain things.
Were they all like just auditions, or did someone just, you're
It's kind of funny. I've been really blessed to not audition so much. I have a really good reel, and a lot of people just kind of skip the audition and they reach out to me directly, and they're just like, you're perfect for this, you're perfect for that. And that goes to my editor, Mariah, because she's fantastic. She literally designed my reel in such a way where you feel all of this range throughout these characters, and then it's a really good calling card for me. I would
yeah,
say, yeah,
I
actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there is another way I got an interesting story I can say about getting cast for sure. It would be on the Halloween Horror Nights commercial for 2019. So yeah, right before COVID and all that happened. So I have to say, I really wasn't well known so much in this in like the Tampa Bay area. I really wasn't. I hadn't shot The Connection yet. I hadn't shot Todd yet, anything. And so I kind of went into it. I was like, well, I knew that they wanted like more of a Stranger Things kind of thing. And I was like, well, I kind of have that face, like, like 11. And I'm like, I'm just not going to put a lot of makeup on. I'm going to dress like, put this thing together that I have in my closet, and I'm just going to own it. Well, when I walked in the audition, the first audition, I like to get there not super early because it nerves me out. So I got there within, I think it was like 3 or 4 minutes to spare. And what happened was I signed in, and immediately when they called my name, the person called my name and then went to the casting director and was like, and by the way, she was late. So everybody heard that. And I was like, okay, this is already not working out great for me. Like, this is not, but I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, and I didn't look like anybody that had come into the audition either. But in my head, I was like, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going with it. I wore this. I'm just going to own it. Screw what that other person said about me being late, whatever. And then I get this text from my agent and said, like, great job. Are you available for the callback? So I went to the callback, and totally different vibe. There are hundreds of people in this like little section. And people are just like chatty. They're talking to each other and stuff. And I'm like, I'm just going to keep to myself, because I didn't even think that I would really get that far. I wasn't expecting anything of it. And yeah, so I just like sat there, kind of stayed in my bubble. This callback took 3 hours. 3 hours before they even saw me, because the director liked to take a lot of time with the actors and was having groups come in and play different kinds of roles, do different takes on things. And I was about to like literally faint because I didn't expect to be there for 3 hours. And soon, right as I was about to go to my car to go and grab a snack, they were like, and Laura Stetman? And I was like, oh, wow, okay. And I was like, wake up, do it. You can do it. I had this huge headache going in there too. I'll never forget. And I remember just parts of that where they had the guys come up, do their part. Then they had the girls come up, do their part. And then they pulled me, and they were like, okay, so you have this monster. And this monster, it's like you hear, I want you to slowly back up. Well, I was always like, I was very delirious at that point. So I actually went forward instead of backward. And I was like, it's all over for me again. Like, this is just not working out. And the director comes up from behind the table and he comes right in front of me. I've never had someone do this. And he goes, it's okay. I really want you to get this. Okay. He's like, let's do it again. And I was like, okay. So he's like, all right, roll it again. So then I did the backwards kind of slow walk and then the scream. And then I just said like, okay, and thank you very much. And then I left. And then a week later, I got the call that I booked it.
Well, that's great.
I was extremely amazed. But for every other actor out there, I just want to let you know too, when I actually showed up on the set, the first thing they said to me was they were like, the thing that struck me about you was what you wore. Nobody looked like you. We loved your outfit. So that has a lot to do with when you're doing certain auditions.
Yeah, I actually take a business for actors course through Wendy Elaine Wright. And it's all about standing out and looking and being different and just being uniquely you. I think everybody's always trying to wear the same thing or be what they write down the type. But I think a lot of times if you have 100 of those people and they all look the same, then and you probably were the same type as the other girls, but the fact that you just you made yourself stand out just by doing that one little thing, and I think, or it's sometimes it's just something that you've said, or maybe it's the fact that you you didn't take direction and they were like, oh, well, wait a minute, that was good, but I want to see her do it the way I asked her to do it. Like sometimes it's, what you think, when you think you've done something wrong, it's usually the thing you did right. Because okay, I have a friend, and she's from England, and she went to this audition, and she's very funny. So she went to this audition. It was an open call. There was like 600 girls for this part. So what she did was when she went in the bathroom, she purposely tucked her skirt into her pantyhose. And then she went into the audition like that. And then when she left, she turned around, and of course, and they never forgot her. And so then they called her back, and then she got cast after that because she's hilariously funny, but she literally did it on purpose.
That is.
I don't suggest doing that, but I'm just saying it's that one little thing that makes you stand out because, these are people who are looking at people all day long. They've got to be like, okay. And then after a while, you kind of get blurred in the crowd.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. Like shortly after that, I went out for the TV series The Right Stuff. Again, didn't expect anything from that. And then I booked that role too. So those two things really put me on the map because it was like one after the other. They were both from my agent. So my agent literally was like, okay, we see she can do this. Like, and that's what really started a lot of things. And then I booked a lot of lead roles after that because people knew more about what I could do and who I was. But yeah, it was just amazing. But I'll never forget that audition because I felt like I did everything wrong.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, you did it right. You just thought it was wrong. So since this is Real Women celebrating women in independent film, what advice would you give a younger you, just starting out, like something maybe that you would have avoided that you've done?
You know what? I would say, because I faced this in LA too. I would say really connect to your inner self. Connect to your inner self and what feels right for you, because that's the start of true authenticity. And with true authenticity, you give yourself a chance to see the kinds of roles that you can really play. That's what I would say, because that's
really good advice. So, what woman in film or television, it could be your mom, inspired you to actually do this job, the job you're doing, being a film actress?
To start with, okay, so I would say to start with, it was Charlize Theron. I just thought she's been absolutely fantastic in everything that she does. She never plays the same role, and she's not afraid to be like that ugly character either. And I think that's so important, especially when you want to expand your range. You need to not be afraid to try different things and look different ways, because playing a character, it isn't about you. It's about them. It's about what serves them. So you have to think of your character as it's sort of an extension of you, but they're an entirely different personality, backstory, everything, And I feel like Charlize Theron nails that in every single role she does.
I think she just understands, like, Charlize Theron will always be a beautiful woman on the inside and out, and it's okay to, it's okay to be ugly, because I think that's when you get your best performances. It's okay, you can't worry about, is my hair right? Is my makeup right? It is not about that. Most actors are, you have to go to a much deeper level. Because the audience isn't really looking for the hot chick. They're looking for, do they feel something, which is a whole different thing, because I've seen a lot of stilted performances online, or on, like, I don't want to say what channels they are, but on certain channels, it's like, they're big channels, and I'm like, I don't get it. And these are $5 million films. I mean, and the story was good, and the cinematography was great, but man, if those actors just do not go there, it stilts everything. It makes everything not work. And I don't know how they got away with. I don't know. It could have been who edited it, honestly. I don't know. But it's a big film that's on a big channel right now, and we watched it. It took me 3 tries to try to finish it, because I was totally into the story, but it was like I was just kind of, and the dialogue was pretty bad. They were definitely proclaiming everything that was going to happen. And so for the actors, maybe that was the problem. I wasn't really sure if it was the actors or the dialogue.
Or the director.
Yeah,
that's the
true.
thing. You never know. I've had certain things too. It's definitely worth noting, especially for all you actors out there. Sometimes we see something and we're like, why'd they use that take? That doesn't make sense. Like, that doesn't, and sometimes the director makes a call and it's a good call. And sometimes the director makes a call and it wasn't a good call. And you feel like, that reflects so bad on you. But at that point, you just have to look at the whole project of, like, it's a whole collaboration at that point.
It may not be the director too. It could have been the
editor. Yeah. Or the
producer. That's the thing, is the first person tells the story is the writer, then the next person tells the story is the director.
Yeah.
And if you're one and the same, sometimes you may need someone to bounce things off of, because you're kind of tunnel visioned. And then of course the editor gets the final say.
Yeah. So it's kind of like thinking about, it's not just one vision. There's like 7 different visions. Like, that have to really make one thing.
Exactly. So when did The Connection come out?
It came out actually, that was in 2020. Yeah, because that's when we had our premiere, and it was the weirdest premiere ever. But
because of COVID.
Yeah.
So what's the next movie for you?
So the next movie coming out or shooting?
Coming out. What's the next movie coming out? Can you talk about it? I don't know what if you have any NDAs or anything.
Actually, no. I can't talk about that one.
Okay, but what's the next one? Shooting? Yeah.
Okay, that one's going to be in August, and it's Another Plan from Outer Space 2, which is a sequel to Another Plan from Outer Space.
Were you in the first one?
Actually, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It was an entirely different cast, but the director has worked with different actors since shooting his last one, and he kind of had this almost like side story, and he's like, I want to do it again, but a different location, different kind of cast of characters, and so
it's like Fear of the Walking Dead. It's like The Walking Dead was the first one, now Fear is, I get it.
Yeah.
So it's the same formula. It's just different actors with a little different scenario.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, I get
Yeah.
it. I get it. Well, that's exciting, and I know you're coming. I'm in Las Vegas, so I know that she's coming out here to film in August.
I know.
You poor thing. Stay hydrated, trust me. But yeah, is there anything else you'd like to tell the people that who follow you and follow your career as we wrap things up?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess if anyone needs some inspiration to keep going, I would say, just again, yeah, be authentically you and keep going, because you never know where it's going to lead you, and you never know when that next project like blows up, that it's that one. Just make sure whatever you choose, it's something that you really are passionate about. Because if you're not passionate about it, you're just doing it for the money, or you're doing it just to get a credit or something. I get it when you're still, starting out. But if you pick those projects and you're passionate about it and it's all in like alignment, it's going to be a good one. So
yeah, there's really a lot of gold in it, for sure. Well, it's been super fun talking to you, Laura. And I saw the trailer. Trailer looks great. We're gonna put the trailer on the at the end of this video so that people can kind of check it out. And I'm super excited to see it. I see it's on all kinds of channels, which is great. And yeah, I can't wait to see more of you.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Maybe we'll have coffee or something when you're in Vegas.
Oh, I would love that.
That would be awesome. Okay, so this is Brenda Daly, and this is Real Women, celebrating women in film. And today we celebrated Laura Noelle and her movie, The Connection. Don't forget to check it out. Thanks.
I just want to talk to you.
How'd you find me? You just knew I was here.
Exactly.
We have these powers. Why don't we use them for some good?
I don't want it to get stronger. I don't like what it's doing to me. You're good, right?
Yeah.
They made me so tired, and I just want to go. Let's just go.
I can stop anyone. You're gonna watch me.
We are not superheroes. You were killing him.
This connection we have, you balance me, I balance you.
Vera, you've done enough. You saved me.